In 2019, Uttar Pradesh started its mission on foundational literacy and numeracy and called it Mission Prerna. In 2021, in line with the country's mandate about NIPUN Bharat, the Uttar Pradesh government converted Mission Prerna into Mission NIPUN UP. In 2023, Central Square Foundation started working with the districts closely and setting up district project management units. We set up our first district project management unit in Ghaziabad. Ghaziabad is home to roughly 400 foundational literacy and numeracy grade schools. It services some 30,000 children in an entire year and is very close to Delhi, as we know. It's one of the districts that gave us the first understanding of what a district level implementation unit can solve for. Improving governance structures at district and block level is one of the critical parts of this mission. The work involves ensuring that the district review meetings are held well, the block level review meetings are held well, and our progress to the critical KPIs is being gauged correctly. These governance mechanisms ensure that the inputs that are being provided into the mission translate into the student learning outcome. Another central focus of the mission is to strengthen the capacity of the mentors in being able to provide the support to the teachers that is needed to drive the foundation literacy and numeracy outcomes. This involves ensuring that the trainings are held correctly. The supportive supervision which is provided from mentors to the teachers moves the needle in terms of teacher practices being more robust, being more effective and efficient. Mentors also act as a cadre which is responsible for providing the right feedback that can be baked into the teaching and learning practices and then strengthening the student learning outcomes. Lastly, to be able to ensure that all of it comes together, there are spaces that are created at teacher level in the form of sankuls where teachers come together to talk to each other, share practices and learn from each other. The last part of it is to ensure that there is an alignment that happens from the top leadership to the teachers so that the progress of this mission is reviewed well and the goals are being set that can be met. In today's episode of our special Edge Talks called NIPUN Ki Neev, we are inviting the Chief Development Officer of Ghaziabad, Abhinav Gopal, who will be talking to us about the governance reforms that are pushing the boundaries of what NIPUN can do for a child's learning. He will also be talking about the key interventions that Ghaziabad has made that has shifted the needle on student learning outcome and the kind of goals that they have been able to achieve. And it is my pleasure to welcome Shri Abhinav Gopal ji. Thank you so much, sir, for making time. It's an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Gaurav.
So, this conversation with sir, want to understand a little bit about your journey, starting from your childhood. What was that like? You also went on to graduate from IIT Madras, and you're an engineer by degree. What prompted this shift from an engineering to a civil servant?
So, I was born in Prayagraj city in Uttar Pradesh, and it has a very, I would say, illustrious history of producing civil servants during 90s. There was a kahawat that in 90s, out of the top 100 people in civil service examination, almost more than 90 people used to be from Allahabad. Either they have studied in Allahabad or they graduated from Allahabad University. So that's kind of social background I was brought up.
Yeah.
Though my father was in state forest service, so in combined UP, most of his service was in Uttarakhand portion. So my initial schooling was in Uttarakhand, Ramnagar, Corbett National Park, if you heard about it.
Yeah.
So that schooling, and after that my plus 2 and class 10th was in Prayagraj and that is how my initial inclination towards civil service started. My father, obviously, in fact, he was in civil services, and then Allahabad ka background. So it contributed in the initial, I would say, tilt towards the civil service examination. And then, as you say, the graduation, it's a kind of, just the first taste of what you exactly want to do.
Yeah.
So when you're good in academics, people say, go for engineering. In 90s and in early 2000s, people used to say
that's what they would say.
Either you go for MBBS if you're good in biology or you go for engineering if you're good in mathematics and all.
Yeah.
So that's how I went to IIT. Though personally I never wanted to do engineering, but it's just a kind of social pressure, I would say, which prompted me to do engineering. And then when I started, because IIT is a altogether different world where all the toppers from all across the country are there, and there's a fierce competition and everything, and there's like fierce competition for identity, I would say, and that is where, because I wasn't very good in academics as far as that environment is concerned, so I actually started pursuing sports and other things. and that's how I went into many leadership positions in IIT, in my college. So those leadership positions actually, kind of again, I would say further helped me to tilt towards civil services, being in that leadership position. And then came the, I would say turning points in my life. 2 internships. One was with the NGO Snehalay in Maharashtra, in Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra. And then the second internship was with the ICDS department of Bihar government, and where I worked in a very remote district of Baka. So there I worked with the Anganwadis and the quality and quantity of food being given there to the children. So those 2 experiences actually, kind of defined, this is what I want to do. And plus one of the mandatory internships which we have to do as a part of our engineering curriculum is the core engineering because I was a student of biotech there. Okay. So I did with the DRDO Gwalior. Okay. I never enjoyed that process. So that's again, these 3 experiences were like okay fine, I have to do civil services, just leave the engineering part there itself. So, and that's how immediately after my graduation from IIT Madras, I did my dual degree. So it was like BTech and MTech in 5 years. And after my 5 years of post-graduation and graduation, I immediately jumped into the preparation for civil services. Thankfully in 2015, because as you know, it's always there, the uncertainty with civil service examination. So you ought to give other exams also. So first exam which I qualified was Central Armed Police Forces 2015, and then I got selected into CRPF. But I couldn't get the opportunity to get into it, and then thankfully I got into Indian Forest Service and Indian Railway Traffic Service.
This was all the same year?
No, 15 was CAPF, 17 examination was Forest Service as well as Indian Railway Traffic Service. So I chose Indian Forest Service over Indian Railway Traffic Service. Again, that was a huge dilemma for me. I had to choose one service looking at the future aspect and prospects of both the services. I chose Indian Forest Service. I went for the training. I was there in Indian Forest Service for 2 years, but alongside I keep preparing for civil service examination. And in 2019, along with my training in Indian Forest Academy, I qualified, I got through this, and when I was posted in Chittorgarh as Assistant Conservator of Forest, I got this news in August 2020 that I have qualified it, and that's how I got into IS.
Oh, that's fantastic. It seems like you were destined to either be in forests starting from your journey as being next to Corbett, or being a bureaucrat. Let's switch gears. Let's talk a little bit about NIPUN Bharat mission. It's been really 2 years since you took over the Chief Development Officer position. One of your portfolio is education, which in itself is vast. And within that sits a mission that's working on the foundational literacy and numeracy. And reflecting on your journey, and you have been very closely engaged in running this mission at the district. What are you seeing as some of the significant factors that are contributing to the success of the mission, as we are seeing either through the ASER report or we are seeing in now the Parak survey? What are some of the things that you have seen? And to extend this question a little bit, you have also been in classrooms. You are one of the officers who visits classrooms almost every week and sees what children are reading, what teachers are teaching. So tell us a little bit about what's the flavor from the ground that you are sensing that is telling you mission is working, and are there any specific factors that have contributed to this success?
I think maybe we can look at this entire picture from stakeholders' perspective. Who are these stakeholders? We have the students, obviously, we have the teachers, we have the parents, and we have obviously the entire middle management and the upper management at the district level. So all these stakeholders had to be catered to if I have to look at the success of NIPUN mission at the district level. And that is how we started working on it, because the only connection between the district level leadership and the ground level teacher and student interaction is the middle management. And that is where we actually worked very hard upon. That is how, because whatever the kind of the objectives which have been given by the state leadership or the district leadership, that has to be translated, that has to trickle down at the lowest level. That is the middle management, which includes the block education officers, which include the ARPs, the SRGs, basically the mentors, basically, which we say the support supervision, the term which we use. So those people have to be trained, they have to be motivated, so as to trickle down that idea of NIPUN Bharat, I would say the lowest level, which are the teachers and the students. And that is how we started working at the middle management, number one. Number two was the motivation. See, we have all the resources. At least I can say now, government has provided almost all the resources as far as furniture is concerned, or maybe Operation Kaya Kalp, where 19 parameters are consistently they are monitored. So as far as infra, we are improving, we're consistently improving, and we have actually improved. We have done a great job in infrastructure. But as If infrastructure is good, but teachers are not good, if teachers are not teaching, then there's no use of that infrastructure. That is why the teachers had to be motivated. The teachers should know that what's their job. It should not be a compliance-oriented job they should do. It should not be a normal government job they should be thinking about. What they're building is the base. What they're building is the future of the country through these children. That is where the motivation of teachers and at the same time motivation of the middle management was very important. And that is where the data comes into picture. Fine. See, if we don't have any, I would say, orientation, or we don't have any data-driven strategy, everything is haywire. Everything is very random.
Correct.
And that is because initially when I came in my first few 3 or 4 district task force meetings, it was very haywire. It was very random. Okay, fine, they're telling something, I'm listening, I'm giving some instructions. But that was not towards one direction or towards something which we really wanted to do. And that is where we got into this BEO specific monitoring. Then BEO used to present the problems which their teachers are facing, or attendance is short, so why attendance is short. If teachers are not motivated, why teachers are not motivated, what exactly is the problem, because there are multiple factors which contribute towards a good functioning of a school. So that was supposed to be tackled. So that is why BOA specific presentation was started. At the same time, one of the stakeholders, parents, they had to be involved, because teachers, see, they will be on their toes when students are asking questions and when parents are asking questions. So that is where the parent-teachers meeting things came into picture, and why we started emphasis more on parent-teachers meeting, and so that parents are more involved in the school. Because see, in basic Shiksha schools, people, as in the parents, are from that economic background where they're involved in some kind of work from morning to evening, and they're very tired and they're not actually involved that much in their children's education. And that is where this model PTMs was started, and they had to be involved.
Okay, no thanks, that's a very comprehensive answer, especially just outlining that everything has to be done throughout the chain. We can't be skipping a level, and just your own understanding about how each of these things is done is just amazing. I want to double click a little bit about something that I have seen you do. One, you spoke about district task force and what was enabled there, but you also have your ears on ground. You have been visiting classrooms. What is it that you are seeing there that you feel is giving you confidence that things are moving in the right direction? What are some of the factors that converge there? Because that's, like you said, that's the last mile of this mission implementation. A teacher has to do something for children to learn. So what are you seeing?
I think the best part has been the motivated middle management as far as BEOs are concerned, or SRGs or ARPs are concerned. They are motivated. The BSA is very much motivated, and he has started taking initiative himself, and that has translated on ground as far as the teacher or the classroom environment is concerned. Be it the usage of Sandarshika, be it the usage of workbook, be it the usage of TLMs, that has increased. The visits which I made, I have seen drastic changes as far as usage of Sandarshika is concerned, as usage of workbook is concerned. Even the teachers, for example, one of the initiatives or one of the very small steps which we took was let the foundational learning classes, the class 1 and 2, be taken by the HMs, because usually the class 1 and 2 used to be taken by Shiksha Mitra, or emphasizing more on, so the HM started taking the classes 1 and 2 for
foundational grades.
Yes. And that has been a huge positive, I would say, when this motivation of teachers is concerned, and that is why the usage of all these things have started more, because the things are very structured in UP as far as material is concerned, teaching learning material is concerned, or workbook or Sandarshika, or any of these basically things are concerned, or classroom. So that is where teacher has to start using all these things, and that is where this middle management motivation came into the picture, and that's how things have changed classroom level.
That's okay. I think results speak for themselves. Ghaziabad has seen a sharp rise in the percentage of NIPUN students. We've moved from a 29% in 2023 when the state surveys was done, and now it sits at a 72%. So 72% of children achieving their own foundational literacy and numeracy goals. This seems to be an amazing feat that Ghaziabad has accomplished. Congratulations to you and your larger team that you talked about, right? The BSAs, the BOs, the middle managers and the teachers. Are there any specific steps, any innovations that you invested your time and bandwidth in saying, okay, these are going to be the key levers should we want to make this big goal happen, and what were they, and how did you go about driving them? You spoke about a few of them, but any specifics on?
I think maybe I can take it chronologically, because when I started with the NIPUN cell from December 23, one of the first steps which we took with the NIPUN team was the Har Bacha NIPUN campaign in a block.
Oh, okay.
Where actually we made it very easy for the teachers to know exactly what to teach to a student of different learning capabilities.
Yeah.
Say in a class, this is again one of the bigger challenges which we face as far as government schools are concerned, because not every child is regular in attendance.
Okay.
So and that is where like some of
that's
the
a good challenge.
कुछ बच्चे पीछे चले जाते हैं, कुछ बच्चे मतलब जब नहीं आते हैं, अटेंडेंस नहीं होती है, जब वो डेली नहीं आ रहे होते हैं, तो कुछ बच्चे आगे हो जाते हैं, कुछ बच्चे पीछे चले जाते हैं, तो एक there is a kind of a classification which happens, and that is where Sandarshika comes into the picture.
Okay.
So to make it very easy for the teacher, a one pager was made where she or he was told कि भाई if a student is lagging in this certain say learning, so you have to switch to this page number and this thing. After that, a few more initiatives were taken, in which one of the recent one was quarterly academic plan.
Okay.
Because right now, when we see academic session, it's the entire year session.
Yes.
But
The goals
now,
are all end of the year goals.
End of the year goals. But now, again, just like in private school, we have half yearly
exams, quarterly examinations.
Yeah. Similarly, we made a quarterly academic plan, which actually BSS spearheaded it, and all the teachers, all the SRGs, ARPs were told that you have to concentrate on this quarterly academic plan. So that teacher should know by this month, all my students should be at this level. And
so the necessity was that, if I understand you correctly, was that the academic plan towards the end of the year goal is too far out, and you have been a sports person, you have broken down multiple milestones. So I'm assuming that was one of the inspirations. So you're saying we broke it down and said, okay, this is what we'll achieve in the quarter?
Yes,
okay.
In the quarter. And at least teacher should know that by this time I should be able to complete this much of it. So that it's become easier for her. There is no rush at the end. For example, we have March rush in financial terms. We should have a March rush for the education also. Which usually happens in private school also and other schools.
I mean, we have been a part of it, where we were preparing in the last 3 months.
Last 3 months, and teachers are rushing to complete the syllabus. अरे यार मेरे अभी तो 10 चैप्टर बचे हुए हैं, मुझे जल्दी खत्म करना है. That should not happen. So we should have a quarterly plan, and that quarterly plan is actually working well, and the teachers are taking it very positively.
Okay, and this is deployed PAN district.
Yes, PAN district. So this is again one of the initiative which was taken with the help of NIPUN Sir.
And interestingly, what you are talking about are very academic focused initiative. Largely when I have spoken to bureaucrats, they talk a lot about governance level initiatives, saying we will do review meetings better. This is very nuanced. So I'm excited about what the promise that this holds for Ghaziabad.
Yes. Even the review meetings you mentioned, as I mentioned in my initial phase, that the review meetings were also made very data specific, data driven. We actually drilled down the data and saw what exactly is happening at the level. What exactly SRGs are doing, what kind of mentoring the ARPs are doing.
So you're not just saying whether they are mentoring or not, or a yes or no question.
We are seeing if they're going for 2 hours, if they're exactly going for 2 hours or not, if they're a valid visit or not, if they're actually doing the spot assessment, 5 spot assessments which they have to do. So we were ensuring in our review meeting that all the data is actually are being drilled down and being asked to that specific person, why is it not happening? What exactly is the problem? For example, why all these schools are not being covered in the ARP? What I saw initially that many ARPs were going to the same schools only. Some of these schools were being left by ARPs. And when we drilled down and when we actually started asking the ARPs, SRGs and BEOs, when we got to know कि this school तो किया ही नहीं इन लोगों ने वाला school, तो ये सारी चीजें कहीं ना कहीं फिर वो वहाँ का टीचर थोड़ा रिलैक्स हो जाता है, भाई मेंटर तुम्हें पर आ नहीं रहा है, मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है. उन सारी चीज़ों को हमने फिर जब टेकअप किया तो जो हमारे एक मॉनिटरिंग अपैरेटस था थ्रू दिस डेटा ड्रिवन, वो हमारा अच्छा हो गया. तो आपने मुझे मेंशन किया कि नहीं हम कमिटीज हम DTFs को क्यों नहीं करते, DTFs एट द सेम टाइम BTFs हमारी ब्लॉक टास्क फोर्स की मीटिंग हो गई हमारी, जो हमारी BOHM बैठक हो गई. इनको भी हमने डेटा ड्रिवन बनाने की कोशिश करी, जिसमें से एक मुरादनगर हमारा ब्लॉक पड़ता है जिसमें जमुना प्रसाद जी जो BO हैं, उन्होंने ये चीज़ करी और बहुत अच्छा रिजल्ट उनको मिलना शुरू हो गया नीचे जब उन्होंने BOHM बैठक डेटा ड्रिवन करना शुरू किया. तो दिस इज अगेन वन ऑफ द इनिशिएटिव्स व्हिच वी टुक विद द हेल्प ऑफ NIPUN Sir. Data driven, data backed basically monitoring.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we keep seeing is there's so much data that we keep collecting, right? And what I'm hearing from your conversation is it is being put to use, and not only that, I think it is going to the last mile of the person who has to act on that data. Whether it is academically what are children doing, a teacher should know where my child is and hence they can plan or work accordingly. Or someone like Jamuna Prasad ji who gets the data of his blog so that he can look at it, make decisions, work accordingly. I think that's a fantastic approach to go with. I think the undercurrent that you talked about initially was also about motivation. Was there anything specific that you did about the motivation of like this entire value chain that you're talking about, right from the teacher to a BSA. You said BSA has been taking ownership, spearheading some of these innovations that you're doing. What was that like? What was the motivation building part of this entire thing was?
That was a difficult part, I would say.
Okay.
But I usually use this word constant hammering.
Okay.
So you have to keep hammering these people basically. भाई you have to do क्या कर रहे हो.
Okay.
जब data driven आपकी जब review meetings होती थी तो मैं पूछता था भाई क्यों हो रहा है क्यों नहीं हो रहा है. मतलब I never used to take a negative stance कि नहीं मैं ये कर दूंगा मैं वो कर दूंगा. Rather just keep motivating them कि भाई तुम क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो मुझे बताओ. प्रॉब्लम है नहीं हो पा रहा है आप खुद नहीं कर पा रहे हो या कुछ प्रॉब्लम है तो वो I used to ask them the problems. Whatever the problem they used to come with, I used to give them solutions कि भाई ठीक है जो मेरी समझ में solution है. मैं उनसे भी पूछा था आपके हिसाब से क्या solution होना चाहिए. मैं दोनों एक मीटिंग में लाइक बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग ARP पुअर परफॉर्मिंग ARP दोनों को बैठाया. बेस्ट ARP से पूछा तुम क्या कर रहे हो यहाँ पर तुम कैसे कर रहे हो चीज़ों को. तो मोटिवेशन एक हर लेवल पे था. मतलब BSA को बुला के उसको मोटिवेट करना, देन BEOs को अलग से आगे मोटिवेट करना, फेलिसिटेटिंग देम, हैविंग अवार्डिंग देम, रिवॉर्डिंग देम वगैरह चीज़ें भी उसमें हम लोगों ने कोशिश करी जो एक यूजुअल एक टेक्निक होती है अपनी. बट हैमरिंग वॉज द प्रोसेस कि हम लगातार हर मीटिंग में एंड एक्चुअली मेक देम रियलाइज कि आप कितने पावरफुल हैं. टू मेक देम रियलाइज कि आप भारत को बनाने वाले हैं. हम नहीं है जो हम ब्यूरोक्रेट्स यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, ऑफिसर्स बैठे हुए हैं यार. आप असली चेंज मेकर हो. अगर आप लोगों ने नीचे वाले हमारे बच्चों को अगर हमारा आधार बना दिया, वो आधार हमारा विकसित भारत का जो हम 2047 का हम लोग देख रहे हैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने दिया है हमें, वो हम देख पाएंगे. वो आपसे होता है. तो वो एक सेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप डेवलप करना, दैट वॉज द की. सेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप हर किसी के अंदर, राइट फ्रॉम BSA टू BEO, SRG, ARP, टीचर्स, HMs, इवन पेरेंट्स, भाई उनके अंदर ओनरशिप को इनकलकेट करना वो बहुत जरूरी था. तो दैट इज वेयर द मोटिवेशन पार्ट्स कम्स इन पिक्चर, कांस्टेंट हैमरिंग.
No, that's fantastic. I think just the whole fact that people are the owners of it more than just the doers of it, or I'm being directive to you, or I've told you to do it and hence you do it. I think that's the spark that I see in your articulation is holding all of this together, where people are contributing and doing their own part. I think that's lovely to know. I want to understand the second part of it, and what are some of the challenges that still exist, whether it is at a teacher level, whether it is at a mentor level, whether it is at a block education officer, or even at your level, things that you think are yet to be solved for all children to be able to achieve what the 78% of our children have.
As I told, number one, obviously, shortage of teachers is one thing, especially in urban areas which we face, because many of the schools which have 200 students or 300 students, they have only 2 or 3 teachers, and obviously the state is taking care of all those, and they are taking measures to improve that. That is not in our hand. So what we can do is whatever we have to make best utilization of that should we do. And one of the challenges which we are facing is obviously, see, inverse bell curve is applicable everywhere. We have the top performers, we have the poor performers, and most of us are sitting in between only. So our task right now is कि हम कैसे इस middle पूरे portion को हम कैसे आगे की तरफ लाएं या हम shift करें, उसको motivate करें. तो अभी भी वो एक work in progress है. अभी मैं ये नहीं कह सकता हूँ कि अगर मेरे 20 ARPs हैं या 30 ARPs हैं, मेरे 30 के 30 ARPs बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. कुछ लोग बहुत motivated हैं, कुछ लोग कम motivated हैं, कुछ लोग नहीं काम कर रहे हैं, अभी भी उनको कुछ issues हैं, problems हैं, तो उनको हम टैकल करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, नंबर 1. फिर कई जगहों पे हमारे टीचर्स को कई इश्यूज़ हमारे फेस करने पड़ते हैं. मतलब ऑब्वियसली सोसाइटी में हर तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं यार. मतलब कई बार आपका इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशंस अच्छे नहीं होते हैं, तो कुछ आपका फिर उतना मोटिवेशन काम करने का नहीं होता है. तो उस मोटिवेशन को भी हम टैकल करने की अभी कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हमारे जितनी भी टीचर्स हैं, मैक्सिमम टीचर्स हमारे उस लक्ष्य की तरफ काम करें, हमारे बच्चों की बेहतरी के लिए काम करें. वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज हमारे लिए बना हुआ है. तीसरा एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है कि हम लोग टेक्नोलॉजी खूब ला रहे हैं, बहुत सारी ला रहे हैं, तो उसको हम कैसे इनकॉर्पोरेट करें हमारी यूजुअल एक टीचिंग प्रोसेस में, वो एक प्रॉब्लम है. इट्स ऑल द अगेन स्टेक होल्डर्स, पेरेंट्स को आप अभी भी हम देखेंगे तो अगर हम जो PTMs हम कर पाए हैं ओनली हार्डली 40-45% हम लोग पेरेंट्स को रीच आउट कर पा रहे हैं. और ऐसा नहीं कि यूनिफॉर्म है, कई जगह पे भी 20% 10% ही पेरेंट्स आ रहे हैं, कई जगहों पे 50-60% आ रहे हैं. तो हम पेरेंट्स को और कैसे इन्वॉल्व कर सकते हैं? पेरेंट्स को हम सिर्फ मॉडल PTM ही नहीं, उनको हम उनके बच्चों के प्रोग्रेस के बारे में बताएं. देखिए, लीडरशिप तब सक्सेसफुल मानी जाती है जब आप एक इंस्टीट्यूशन छोड़ के जाते हैं. इवन इफ आई एम नॉट हियर, मैं अगर नहीं हूँ, मैं ट्रांसफ़र आउट भी हो जाऊँ कल के दिन, तो यार ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर आपका होना चाहिए कि जो अपने आप सेल्फ ड्रिवन हो. BSA चला गया, मैं चला गया, तो ARPs, SRGs, HMs मेरे इतने मोटिवेट होने चाहिए कि भाई उन्हें पता होना चाहिए कि नहीं, आज मेरा 72% अगर मेरा रिजल्ट है निपुण का, आई शुड स्ट्राइव फॉर 100%. वो इंस्टीट्यूशन कैसे काम करेगा, वो इंस्टीट्यूशन डेवलप करना आज भी मेरे लिए एक चैलेंज है. मतलब एक ऐसा सिस्टम जो खुद ब खुद सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड हो और उस एक एम की तरफ चले.
I think you have touched upon the three very complex challenges. The first one that you talked about was about like what do I create that is scale, like works at scale, right? Loni, like you said, is not the same problem as perhaps a Bhojpur would have in a Ghaziabad or a Nagar Kshetra would have. The second thing that you talked about, of course, is the sustainability. I think the third one that you talked about is very interesting, the parent and the community angle to all our work, right? Parents are our key stakeholders who will be able to hold all of this together, right? They are the ones who will hold accountability, they're the ones who will also be the ones who are most invested about the students. At the same time, it's also the most complex. I say that because it is marred with like parents not having either enough awareness, not having enough time. They have a lot of priorities. They are making livelihood. There is also a little bit of a power equilibrium that exists between a government school and a parent, and them being able to come in and ask questions. You talked passionately about model PTMs. Could you talk a little bit about how that is contributing to bridge this gap that exists, either in terms of like awareness or just access to asking those questions that the parents should be asking?
Yes. Basically, model PTMs. Obviously, we used to have parent-teachers meeting before also, but we just made it a kind of festival. Fine, okay. Parents, they come and they play with children. They play. They ask cousin. Kind of एक ऐसा environment बनाना जो एक inclusive environment है, थोड़ा एक light environment है. मतलब मॉडल पीटीएम में ये हुआ कि भाई बच्चे इनविटेशन कार्ड बना के अपने पेरेंट्स को देते हैं. अच्छे से बनाते हैं, नो दे गेट क्रिएटिव एंड ऑल.
So the invite is sent by the child to come to the parents meeting, and it's not like a teacher is calling a parent.
No. Okay. वो खुद इनविटेशन कार्ड बनाते हैं, वो देते हैं, एंड वी हैव अ प्रॉपर एक शेड्यूल होता है जिसमें कुछ कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ हो रही हैं, कुछ गेम्स हो रहे हैं जिसमें हम पेरेंट्स भी हैं, बच्चे भी इन्वॉल्व हो रहे हैं, टीचर्स भी इन्वॉल्व हो रहे हैं. तो एक काइंड ऑफ जो बीच का एक गैप होता है, जो एक इनहिबिशन होता है पेरेंट का या इवन टीचर का भी पेरेंट की तरफ, या पेरेंट मुझे कुछ बोलना दे या पेरेंट बोलता है यार टीचर क्या सोच लेगा, तो उन गेम्स के माध्यम से वो जो एक आइस ब्रेक करना जिसे कहते हैं, वो आइस ब्रेक करना उन गेम्स के माध्यम से, कुछ खेल के माध्यम से, और तमाम जो चीज़ें एक्टिविटीज़, कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ हो गई, गाना गाना हो गया, पोएम सुनाना हो गया, कुछ भी मतलब आप कह सकते हैं. तो ये सारी एक्टिविटीज़ उन मॉडल पीटीएम्स में लाई गई. इससे कि आइस ब्रेक हो सके और जो एक इनहिबिशन होता है पेरेंट्स का पूछने का, वो खत्म हो सके. अभी भी वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस है. अभी हम लोग सबके पास तो नहीं पहुंच पाए, अभी भी मतलब 40-50% ही लोग अभी तक आ पाए हैं. हमारा एम है कि हम 100% लोगों तक पहुंचें, क्योंकि इसका देखिए डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा, अटेंडेंस के ऊपर होगा. अटेंडेंस हमारी अच्छी हो गई, लर्निंग लेवल्स अपने आप अच्छे हो जाएंगे, टीचर्स अपने आप अकाउंटेबल हो जाएंगे, है ना, अपने आप रिजल्ट हमारा बेटर होना शुरू हो जाएगा. ये सब इंटरलिंक्ड है. इवन जब हम लोग पढ़ते थे स्कूल में, मतलब आर पेरेंट्स यूज्ड टू बी ऑन अ टोज कि भाई क्या कर रहे हो, तुमने होमवर्क किया कि नहीं किया. अगर अच्छा टीचर अगर नहीं ध्यान दे रहा है तो भाई तुरंत कॉल करके पूछा पेरेंट्स को. कि आजकल तो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स बने हुए हैं, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में भैया पूछ लिया कि क्या क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, होमवर्क कैसे नहीं हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है. तो उस तरह से हम टेक्नोलॉजी को कैसे ला सकते हैं बीच में, वो भी हम इसमें देख सकते हैं. So that's how PTMs are working.
It's interesting that you talk about the student showcases, which is an important critical part, right? The parents seeing their child perform a poem or a play, read a story, or be able to showcase their talent, I think plays a vital role, so that it just doesn't become like a one-sided monologue space.
जैसे मैं भी बता रहा था कि it instills confidence in parents also. मतलब पेरेंट्स को लगता है ना कि सरकारी स्कूल में तो कुछ होता नहीं है, तो वो एक कॉन्फिडेंस भी बिल्ड होता है इससे कि हाँ मेरा बच्चा क्या सीख रहा है. मतलब मेरा बच्चा अगर मेरे सामने अच्छी पोएम गा पा रहा है, मेरा बच्चा एक अच्छी इंग्लिश में कोई 2 लाइनें बोल पा रहा है, ये चीज़ें मैटर कर जाती हैं. मतलब एक पेरेंट के लिए मैटर करता है कि हाँ मेरा बच्चा वाकई में यहाँ कुछ कर रहा है, तो वो कॉन्फिडेंस है कि मैं बच्चे को और भेजूँ, मैं अटेंडेंस इंप्रूव कराऊँ, अपने साथी बगल के साथी को बताऊँ कि भाई देख यार यहाँ अच्छी टीचिंग हो रही है. तो ये चीज़ आपकी उसमें मैटर कर जाती है.
आई थिंक वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट पेरेंट्स कीप सीइंग इज like this foundational grades always feel like this is something that you could catch up, while the reality is that if you miss out on the foundational grades, then it becomes increasingly difficult and then exponentially difficult to catch up by the time you reach 8th, 9th, 10th, and that's where the parents start paying attention, right? Boards aane wale hain to padhai karna shuru karo was the thing, at least back in our day, and it still quite exists. So I'm assuming these things are changing how parents are pursuing, like are seeing the learning happen, right? What my child is able to do in that moment for a crowd of 30-50 people instills that confidence that this is important to be done at this stage. I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about the edtech, and you've been an engineer, you're fascinated by what tech does. You have talked here and there about the potential to be able to use it. Ghaziabad has also recently launched a tech-based home learning initiative, Chimple. In your view, talking specifically about Chimple, but also in addition the whole edtech and the accessibility to internet and smartphones, what is that enabling us to do? You could break this answer in two parts. Talk a little bit to me about what Chimple is up to, why that was picked, what do you think is happening there, and then extend it to saying what more are you trying out in the tech space.
As you told, I think Chimple again, to the CSF team working with the Chimple, and they brought this home-based learning app because there were many challenges which we had to cater to. वन ऑफ दोस्त की मतलब बच्चा जब घर जाता है तो बच्चा घर पे जाके कुछ और नहीं करता था, वो होमवर्क कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है, यू नेवर नो. तो प्लस आजकल मोबाइल एवरीवन इज यूजिंग, तो मतलब लाइक इवन वी आर लाइक स्टक विद आवर मोबाइल्स, यार हम लोग देखते रहते हैं पूरे टाइम. सो हाउ कुड वी एक्चुअली पॉजिटिवली यूटिलाइज दिस गैप. So this is where Chimple came into the picture, and the team worked very hard on it, and it's kind of the assignment of the homework by the teacher to the students, जो कि पेरेंट्स के मोबाइल पे खोल कर अपना वो दे देता है, भाई तुम होमवर्क करो, और एक प्ले के मेथड से वो होमवर्क भी कर लेता था और एक तरह से रिविजन भी आपका हो जाया करता था. तो दिस वाज लॉन्च्ड इन भोजपुर ब्लॉक, दिस चिम्पल ऐप. और शुरुआत में यही हुआ कि हम कैसे जोड़ें लोगों को, बिकॉज अभी हर पेरेंट को उस ग्रुप पे जोड़ना. एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बनाया गया जिस पे टीचर भी था, जिसमें पेरेंट्स को भी बुलाया गया, पेरेंट्स को बताया गया कि देखिए ये एक एप्लीकेशन होती है, इसको आप डाउनलोड करिए. इसमें कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट बहुत स्ट्रांग होना था, क्योंकि आपको पेरेंट्स के पास जाकर उनको डाउनलोड कराना था, उनको बताना था कि आप डाउनलोड करिए. लोगों ने उसको यूज़ करना शुरू कर दिया. इनफैक्ट वन ऑफ दी सक्सेस स्टोरीज विद चिम्पल टीम टोल्ड मी कि सर वो एक हमारी जो कुक होती हैं, हमारे एमडिंग कुक होती हैं, तो उन्हीं का बच्चा उसी को यूज़ करके मतलब शी स्टार्टेड टेलिंग कि सर हम तो यूज़ करते हैं, बच्चा बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ रहा है, बहुत अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स आ रहा है इसका, और हमें बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि हम इसको यूज़ कर रहे हैं. तो मतलब वन ऑफ द फीडबैक्स लगा, तो बहुत अच्छे फीडबैक्स आने शुरू हुए थे. तो ये होम बेस्ड लर्निंग बेसिकली वही जो गैप है बीच का, कि होम पे आके क्या करता है, मोबाइल यूज़ करता है, उसको क्रिएटिवली यूज़ करें. तो उसका एक तरीका था जो सक्सेसफुली रन किया, उसको अभी हमने पूरे सारे ब्लॉक्स में उसको लॉन्च कर दिया है. चिम्पल हैज़ बीन लॉन्च्ड एवरीवेयर, और अब तरीके हम उसको होम based learning. Even Honorable CM, when he came to Ghaziabad, he actually listened about it and he actually liked the idea.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. So even that's a very good thing about Chimple app, which we can actually be a big boon for us in future.
Yeah. No, I think something that you touched upon, right? The children spend 2/3 of their time at home. They are engaging with the phones. They have become a very common phenomena. And what I'm hearing from you is that it's being used meaningfully for the parents to be able to drive some learning, and we are seeing some green shoots. And congratulations on CM acknowledging this. I look forward to getting more updates when it expands throughout Ghaziabad. Are there other edtech initiatives that you are pursuing that you feel are adding to the value of either your own governance in how you are managing the education as a portfolio, or just in general how that is being used to drive student learning outcomes?
So yeah, one of the other edtech, I would say, things which have been done in Ghaziabad is the Sampark TV with the help of Sampark Foundation, because all the SCRT syllabus has been uploaded on TV basically. So basically you just switch which day and which chapter you want to start with, and then it comes into a very nice AV format.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
So it makes the classroom very interactive and very interesting for students. So that way also they have created a game also, like KBC, like Sampark Didi asking you questions. Just in like, they ask you a question and then they give you 4 options. So like students, they say, sir, option A, option B, option C. Like that's like KBC, when you get excited and all that.
It's a gamified experience, and children get excited about it.
Exactly. So that edtech also intervention has been quite good. In fact, in the Sampark, one of the studies which they did, Ghaziabad has the maximum users, has the maximum number of hours being used, maximum number of minutes being used by Sampark.
Oh wow! I'm sure that's addressing some part of the teacher shortage problem, where there are multiple big classrooms. A teacher can put on some of this learning material, and then leave, especially the elder kids who can engage with this.
Yes, absolutely. That's happening also, and even not just the higher classes, but also even Anganwadis. We have launched a similar campaign, AI Anganwadi campaign, which we launched last year in September. Honorable Governor came and launched it last year. But even that is working very well, and one of the studies which we are, which already CSF is doing for us, again I think has showed good results. Result will be out in few days, I suppose, and then even the same thing, all the content as far as preschool education is content has been digitalized, again being shown on a smart TV, and which includes all the apart from basic ABCD and 1 2 3 4, you get to know about what are good habits, what you should do, basic etiquettes, and all those things being taught at the preschool level, also using that Anganwadi concept.
That's
Even
all.
that has, as an edtech concept, that has also worked really well in Ghaziabad.
And Governor is front-ending
Yes,
that initiative,
yes,
I
yes,
hear.
yes.
So congratulations on that. Quite a number of innovations and exciting things in Ghaziabad. What are some of the things that you are prioritizing from this long list of things that you could be doing?
I think for me, priority would be teachers.
Okay.
How can I help them? How can I help the teachers to make it easy for them to teach students?
Okay.
Despite all their challenges, and even if I'm not a very motivated teacher, at least I should have my tools with me. ठीक है, मैंने भाई एडटेक के हेल्प से मैंने थोड़ा चिंपल ऐप यूज़ कर लिया, मैंने संपर्क को यूज़ कर लिया, मैंने इसको यूज़ कर लिया, फिर मैं भी मोटिवेटेड हूँ कि हमने संदर्शिका को इस्तेमाल करना शुरू कर दिया. तो टीचर इज़ दी की, मतलब, और उसको करने के लिए ऑब्वियसली द मिडिल मैनेजमेंट, इफ दे स्टार्ट मेंटरिंग वेल, तो मेरा जो एक रहेगा, मेरा पर्सनली जो मेरा रहेगा, वो मिडिल मैनेजमेंट के थ्रू इन टीचर्स को मोटिवेट करना, उनको इस तरह के इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स देना, उनके लिए ईज आउट करना पूरे टीचिंग प्रोसेस को. तो दैट इज़ माई, आई वुड से माई प्रायोरिटी फॉर नेक्स्ट 1 ईयर, जब तक मतलब यहाँ पर हूँ, या इवन जब एज अ सीडी जब तक मैं रहूँगा. दिस वुड बी वन ऑफ माई की टेकअवेज.
That's a very interesting answer. I think we largely expect it to be like a governance related, or saying, hey, I want to tweak, I want to get better at this KPI or at goal that I have set. It's very interesting to hear and heartening to hear that you are focusing that teacher needs to be like, that's the last mile person which is responsible for lives of children. They need to have lesser things on their plate, making their jobs easier. I think.
Yes.
And kudos on putting that in perspective for us. That's the person that we work for. The teachers are the ones who are at the building blocks of the Viksit Bharat, as you spoke about. I'm grateful that you are able to bring that perspective, that we have to do that. I want to talk a little bit about just there are multiple organizations that you would be working with, and you have interned in your initial days, during your college days, with 2 NGOs. Could you talk a little bit about what is the value add that you see, and what do you think the value add should be? What should organizations be bringing to the table basis your own experiences, either through your internship or now that you get to work with multiple organizations partnering on different projects? Could be education, livelihood, water, sanitation. What are the commonalities that you see?
I think I'll answer this question starting with what the NIPUN cell in Ghaziabad has done, and what has been the journey like. So number one would be complementing or supplementing the entire work being done by the education department.
Okay.
As far as data or data analysis is being concerned, as far as kind of helping us in organizing better trainings, helping us in kind of motivating people, making it easy. One of the aspects which I touch, making it easy for teachers. So all these instruments basically, because see, we all are involved as a government servant, we are involved in many things.
Yeah.
So it becomes difficult कि भाई आप एक चीज़ पे बहुत ज़्यादा concentrate करके वो करवाएंगे. Every day is a new thing for us. So इसमें the organizations help us in basically zeroing out कि भाई हमें क्या करना है exactly, हमारे क्या inputs हैं, फिर इसमें data क्या होना चाहिए, फिर इसमें हमें करना क्या है, इसमें हम और क्या क्या नया चीज़ कर सकते हैं, इनिशिएटिव्स क्या ले सकते हैं. जो भाई इशूज़ हैं, जैसे अटेंडेंस को लेकर हो गया, मोटिवेशन को लेकर हो गया, या एक प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग को लेकर भी हो गया, या इवन हायरिंग को भी लेकर हो गया, इन सारी चीज़ों में सप्लीमेंट करना. बिकॉज कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज में वो एक प्रोफेशनल टच, या मैं कहूँगा कि एक तरीके से कटिंग एज से दूर हो जाते हैं. तो एग्जैक्टली चल क्या रहा है उसमें, तो वहाँ पर हमें ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो हैं, हमारे जो सिविल सोसाइटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होते हैं, वो हमें इसमें हेल्प करते हैं. तो आई थिंक ये 4-5 बिंदु मैं कहूँगा. एक नंबर 1 ट्रेनिंग को बेटर करने में, डेटा ड्रिवन स्ट्रैटेजी को डेवलप करने में, डेटा ड्रिवन मॉनिटरिंग करने में, क्योंकि डेटा को ड्रिल करना भी उनका काम हो जाता है. चौथा हमारा आपका टेक्नोलॉजी को इनकॉर्पोरेट करने में. तो इन सारी चीज़ों में, और प्लस हमें बेसिकली ग्राउंडेड रखने में, हमें हेल्प करने में, भाई आप कहाँ जा रहे हैं, वो आपको ग्राउंडेड करने में हेल्प करते हैं. ये 5 चीज़ें मैं कहूँगा कि जो हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हमें हेल्प करते हैं इन चीज़ों के लिए.
No, that's very sharp and holistic. I like how you were saying that it keeps us grounded, right? And also aware of what's actually going on.
What's actually happening, exactly.
I also wanted to understand the academic year. It has just begun. We have 9 months of runway between now and when the students move to the next grade. What are 3-4 priorities that you are anchoring yourself to in getting right for the children who are in schools now?
So number 1 would be, I think, the new ARP hiring is going on. So ARPs have to be hired because third round of ARP has to be done. Now we have done 2 rounds of ARP hiring.
Okay.
But still we are short of ARP. So number one priority is that, because that forms the core of middle management and where the motivation of teacher and training of teacher will. Second would be the training, again, training of ARPs, and with the help of them the training of teachers also. Because see, training is which I think कि थोड़ा सा वो कम इम्पोर्टेंस ले लेता है जब ट्रेनिंग की हम जब बात करते हैं, तो ट्रेनिंग में छोटी छोटी चीज़ें मैटर कर जाती हैं कि आप कहाँ पे कर रहे हैं, वहाँ का माइक से साउंड सिस्टम काम कर रहा है ये नहीं कर रहा है.
Last year I heard Ghaziabad did something to specifically provide base necessities.
हाँ, बेस नेसेसिटीज, मतलब क्योंकि जब आप जब ट्रेनिंग में बैठे रहते हैं, जैसे हम लोग यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं तो हम एसी में बैठे हुए हैं, प्रॉपर एक एनवायरनमेंट है तो हम अच्छे से बात कर पा रहे हैं. बट अगर हम यहीं पे किसी नॉन एसी रूम में बैठे होते, कहीं बाहर बैठे होते जहाँ ह्यूमिडिटी ज़्यादा होती, तो हम लोग फिर उतना कॉन्सेंट्रेट करके बात नहीं कर पाते थे, इतनी अच्छी हम बातें नहीं कर पा रहे होते. तो वो ट्रेनिंग में भी वो इम्पैक्ट करता है. तो ट्रेनिंग का एनवायरनमेंट को इम्प्रूव करना, ट्रेनिंग की क्वालिटी इंप्रूव करना कि पढ़ा क्या रहे हैं एग्जैक्टली वो लोग, तो ये हमारी प्रायोरिटी में रहेगा. तो जिस कारण कि वो परकुलेट होकर फाइनली फिर वो टीचर्स तक पहुँच पाए. और तीसरा रहेगा जो टेक्नोलॉजी, जो इंटरवेंशन हम लोग कर रहे हैं कि उसको हम और कैसे बेहतर यूज़ कर पाएँ और कितना हम और अच्छे से नीचे इंटीग्रेट कर पाएँ उसको, चाहे वो सिंपल हो चाहे वो संपर्क.
No, thank you so much. You have been a champion of doing all holistic development on just the educational aspects of it, and I like how your articulations always are focusing on the teachers as well as the middle management, as well as seems like you are taking the systems approach or building that capacity that you are talking about. Things should sustain even after you have transitioned out, as you say. I have one last question, as in what keeps you motivated, what keeps you hopeful about the future, what keeps you optimistic, what helps you get up in the morning with this excitement that you are talking about today, to be able to deliver what you do?
I think small stories and champions which we keep hearing about every day. मतलब जैसे yesterday only, I'll just quote one example, small example. कल we felicitated few teachers who did very good in kitchen garden, who are doing good in midday meal. So we actually felicitated 9 schools yesterday who have established their own kitchen garden, and they're using the same vegetables in MDM, and they're involving the students कि भाई कल्टीवेट कैसे करते हैं, इसकी क्या इंपॉर्टेंस क्या होती है, पानी की क्या होती है, मिट्टी की क्या होती है, वगैरह वगैरह एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. तो इस तरह के जब चैंपियंस आते हैं तो डेली ये मोटिवेट करते हैं. भाई कोई किसी टीचर ने बोला सर मैंने ये किया है, सर मैंने ये किया, मैंने ये नई चीज़ ट्राई करी है. पीपल कीप पोस्टिंग में व्हाट्सएप पे डेली मैसेज करते हैं. तो ये चैंपियंस जो हैं वो आपको एक उम्मीद जगाते हैं कि भाई मतलब लोग हैं काम करने वाले, हमें मोटिवेट करने की आवश्यकता है. हो सकता है कि इनको देख के 10 लोग और मोटिवेट हो जाए. तो ये स्मॉल स्टोरीज, नंबर 1 मैं कहूँगा कि जो मैं स्मॉल स्टोरीज जो डेली मुझे मिलती हैं. नंबर 2 मैं कहूँगा मेरा खुद का भी मोटिवेशन है, जो इंटरनल एक ड्राइव है, जो ड्राइव आती है. देखिए ड्राइव आती है वो आपके अगेन जो पर्सनली आप क्या महसूस करते हैं, और उसको महसूस करने के लिए मैं स्पोर्ट्स करता हूँ. वो आपको ग्राउंडेड रखता है, आपको देखता है कि हाँ भाई जाके मेहनत करनी है, कुछ करना है. वो आपको जो ड्राइव होती है अंदर, वो मेरे पर्सनल जो मैं कहूँगा वो एक और मोटिवेशन मेरा जो काम करता है. कुछ 2-4 एरियाज में काम करना है. क्यों सिर्फ एजुकेशन? क्योंकि मेरा ये बहुत स्ट्रांगली मानना है, क्योंकि यही बेस होगा आगे के लिए, चाहे आप जिसकी बात कर लें, क्योंकि 10 साल बाद 15 साल बाद यही बच्चे हैं जो हमारी वर्क फोर्स का हिस्सा बनने वाले हैं.
थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर बीइंग वेरी वेरी कैंडिड इन दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन, कैप्चरिंग द जर्नी दैट यू हैव हैड personally, but also the things that you've been able to do and your aspirations for the district.
Thank you.
All the best. You've set some really high goals for yourself, and I wish you and your team all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this special episode of Edge Talks. Do join us again to understand how decisions are made at ground zero that impact the student learning outcomes. We would also love to hear from you. So do drop any suggestions or recommendations or feedback in our comment section, and do like and subscribe for more such content. Thank you.